Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another prize picks video for you, but we don't have any Jordy tonight. He has a lot of family stuff he has to do super early. We were planning on doing the video together originally, and I had mentioned to him, you know, since he has to be up so early because he's doing stuff with like his wife's family at the first part of the day, and they're going to make it back to do something with his family, and so he's just got a crazy day tomorrow. So I had mentioned I didn't mind doing it solo, and he was going to try to make it, but then he was just unable to, and so I kind of had to last minute just kind of pull the weight and do the research solo, which actually takes, you know, it's twice the work. So it took me a little bit longer. Video is going to be getting out a little bit later. But it's Thanksgiving and we're going to just have some fun. And I still got 6 picks for you. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. I actually feel pretty good about these picks too. We'll see. Football is a little bit harder than the NBA, in my opinion. And I think Jordy has an edge on me for football. I'll admit that, and he's crushing in our dynasty league, and his team is just so stacked. And anyways, so yeah, let's talk about the slate. And if you've seen these solo videos, I take my time with it because it's more work. He does a lot of the producer side of things when we're making our videos, and you know, the scene changes and changing to different screens and whatnot. And so we both kind of have our roles, but when I'm solo, it's just a little bit more work. So I kind of take my time, if you don't mind. But yeah, so the slate tomorrow, we've got 3 games. We've got, we've got the Packers and the Lions, the first game at 12:30. Then we've got the Commanders and Cowboys at 4:30. And then we've got the 49ers and Seahawks at night. I love football on Thanksgiving. I'm sure you guys do too. Just having the games on all day while you're kind of getting things together, cooking and having a good time. And hopefully you don't have to work tomorrow, but if you do, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving too. And I'm sorry if you have to work. But yeah. All right. So yeah, we've got these 3 games that we're excited about. And let's just get right into the picks. I will say, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we will we're introducing like a daily show. If you've never seen our channel before, we do these late videos to get the juiciest picks on the board, because a lot of times Prizepicks will put like these good lines out at the very, you know, earliest parts of the morning, and we try to catch them, and they're usually gone in the morning, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun trying to catch those great picks, and we watch them jump like a point and a half, 2 points, and so that's why we added the daily show, because once the board fills out, those good picks are gone, and some of the people who see the video can't get those. So anyways, we're doing 2 shows now, and it's a lot of fun. But cool. Let's get into the first picks. My first pick is going to be a rushing yards prop. And let's see here. I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs, 47.5 rushing yards. I like him to go over this. I mean, all you really have to do is watch the guy play. He's the new Alvin Kamara. He reminds me so much of Alvin Kamara. It has the same exact archetype. And he's been so explosive with his running. And when David Montgomery went out, he really got an opportunity to take, the lion's share of things, like no pun intended. But I was expecting maybe Dan Campbell to be the type to just thrust Montgomery right back into just like a heavy workload, and maybe Gibbs would, be on the side, but it looks like he's in it for the long haul now. They were always planning to have him be that guy, but I don't know. Gibbs he emerged, and so he's here to stay. And Montgomery's still relevant for fantasy, but Gibbs has just been too good for them to not at least give him a 50-50 share. So we're going to take this for over, and we'll get into why. So if you look at what he's been doing in the last 3 games, we have him averaging 88.3 rushing yards on about 16 attempts. In that last game, when you look at this last game against Chicago, 8 attempts for only 36 yards. That's because they were playing from behind, like the whole game. No one saw it coming. And it was a fun game to watch. Lions ended up winning at the very end, and Montgomery cashed us that anytime TD. A lot of fun. But if you look at his receptions, 6 of 6 for 59. That's why his rushing yards were a little bit lower. And if we look at what the Packers are allowing to running backs, on average, they're allowing almost 25 rush attempts for 103 yards on average. And so I'm feeling good about. And again, Gibbs is the type of guy who can break this off in 2 runs, maybe 3 or 4 runs. But I just really like him to go over on this. And let me see. Again, forgive me. I'm going to kind of take my time with this a little bit, but I do want to get into. I want to give you guys the juice on this. So yeah, DraftKings has this at -120. So they're favoring him to go over this too. I think they know what we know, that he's very capable of it. Cool. So next pick, we're going to get into a, actually, I'm not taking that one. What do I got next? Let's see what I had planned. Sam Howell. I like Sam Howell to go over his pass attempts for this. And it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to take on this. Let me see. Pass attempts. So 38.5, that seems kind of high. But he's playing the Cowboys. And if we look at what the Cowboys are allowing, this is why it took me a while. They're allowing on average 28. So that's a little bit scary when you think about it that way. And I finally came to the conclusion that I just think that Sam Howell is going to do his thing because they're going to be playing from behind. If we look at the over-under on this one, 49-point over-under, Cowboys favored by 13 points. So, again, we've talked about blowouts in the NFL versus blowouts in NBA. You don't really have to worry about Sam Howell getting benched if the Cowboys get too far ahead. Instead, that means he's going to be passing a lot more than running. And if we look at his attempts in the last 5 weeks, and this has kind of been the story of his whole year, 45.6 on average. He hasn't gone under this in forever. And so I think the fact that he already is taking up into the mid 40s, sometimes hitting up into the 50s on attempts, match that with the fact that they're most likely going to be playing from behind. I feel good about this. And yeah, you can see this is him every single game. So this is something, for NFL Prizepicks, I'm willing to throw into my slip. And let's get into the next one. So for some of these, I actually took quite a bit of fantasy score this time because, again, with NFL being a little bit more difficult than NBA, I kind of wanted to start thinking about it in terms of fantasy football, and so for this next one, I'm going to be taking a fantasy score for, where are we at here? Okay. We're going to be taking Jaden Reed, who I have been so stoked on coming into the year. I drafted him in Dynasty, so high on him. And it's nice when you kind of talk up your guy that you drafted and then it pans out. And I was telling everyone he's going to emerge. He's going to be a guy. And they were like, no, Dobbs and Christian Watson. I'm like, watch, it's going to be Jaden Reed. He's going to make carve out a role. And he has. Look at what he's done in the last 2 weeks. 19.4, 19.2. So I really like him to go over 9.5. And Prizepicks is full PPR. So I really feel good about that. That makes me feel even better about it. Gave one away. Okay. Jaden Reed. So yeah, if we look at what he's been averaging, he's been getting around 5 targets a game, catching about 4 of those on average for 58 receiving yards on average. But he's kind of turning into this little bit of a Deebo Samuel type role. He's been getting he had 3 rushing attempts in his last game, broke that off for 46 yards and a touchdown. So again, in the tricky Prizepicks NFL arena, I'm thinking how can I get value? How can I get points? And so I like the PPR factor. I like the opportunity to have a touchdown just like launch me right over that mark. And I like the fact that he's running too. So feeling good about that. And if we look at what the Lions are allowing to receivers on average, it's actually kind of crazy, especially as of late. Averaging 20 targets a game and an average of 13 receptions a game for 157 yards on average. And so if you look at the last couple games, the last 2 weeks, you've got 14 targets, 11 receptions, 143 yards, and they allowed a touchdown. You go back to the Chargers, that Keenan Allen week, 26 targets, 21 receptions, 257 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jaden Reed's not Keenan Allen. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying this defense is allowing, receivers to eat right now. And so I like the way that metric is lining up. And I like the way they've been using him. Like there's another indicator. And I like the full PPR. So I'm just trying to think of it a little bit different this time around. So 9.5 in a full PPR, like I would be starting Jaden Reed if I'm like, I need 10 points to win. Yeah, I'll put him in. So feeling good about that pick. And then let's see. Well, you already saw Kittle over here. So let's talk Kittle. Another fantasy score. I'm going to be taking George Kittle. I feel good about this. Where are you at, Kittle? Yeah, if you look at what he's been doing, he's been really emerging. Last 3 weeks, 23.9, 20.6, 22.9. And again, the same idea of like going with fantasy score over receptions, over receiving yards. I like the full PPR aspect. I like the fact that he could break off a touchdown and he probably cashes right there. And so if we look at Kittle and the way they've been utilizing him, it's been awesome. Last week against Tampa Bay, which is a pretty solid defense, we got 9 targets, we got 8 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Week before that, only 4 targets, but he still broke it off for 3 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown. So I just like the way they've been really getting him involved. He's been looking like their main playmaker, but that's what, we love about the 49ers is you've got Christian McCaffrey, who's drawing so much attention. Teams have to worry so much about him, and he's going to be involved. Speaking of McCaffrey, don't forget about that free play. If you haven't used it yet, you can match that with any of these picks that I'm giving you, definitely take advantage of it. But so yeah, anyways, I just love the way this whole team is set up. They're a huge threat in the run game. And I really like Kittle to be able to hit this prop, considering the way they've been utilizing him lately. So I'm going to take that for the over. And then it's funny, a lot of these guys are like fantasy targets of mine. Some of them are on my Dynasty League and whatnot. But so let's see who do I have next. We did Jaden Reed, Zach Charbonnet. And guess what we're going with? Fantasy points. If I can see him on here. Here he is. Okay, yeah, I drafted Charbonnet. And I've just been patiently waiting for his opportunity because I love the talent and I'm so stoked to have him for Dynasty. But yeah, you can see things have been trending up for him even before Kenneth Walker got hurt. But now you have Kenneth Walker out. And the fact that they were already showing trust in him, he was out snapping Kenneth Walker in the last couple of weeks, is already a good sign. So I'm not sitting here thinking like, how's Charbonnet going to fare? Like we haven't really seen him. Is he ready? It's like, no, he's already earned the trust of the team. And I love that he catches the ball a lot. So that's great for that full PPR as well. So Zach Charbonnet, if you look at what he's been doing, he's been averaging about 45.5 yards, averaging about 10, just over 10 attempts a game. But the utilization in the passing game has been awesome. Over the last 2 weeks, he's averaging 5.5 targets a game and hauling in 5 of those. So he's, gotten 11 targets over the last 2 weeks and he's caught 10 of them. So we love that. So if you look at these averages, if he just hits his average, he's going to go over this. Because if you've got 5 receptions, that's 5 points right there. You know, if you got 45 rushing yards, we're just about there. And then if you add in the receiving yards. So anyways, I feel good about that. And then if we look at what the 49ers are actually allowing to running backs, they're allowing around 15 attempts for about 60 yards. And then in the passing game, they're actually allowing quite a bit. And I think it's because they put so much pressure on the quarterback. I can totally picture a scenario where Geno Smith is feeling the pressure. His receivers are all covered. Like, you know, they're going to be all over DK. And he's going to just have to dump it off. And I could see a lot of that in this game, just dishing it right out to Charbonnet. But the 49ers have been allowing a pretty heavy catch rate to running backs. Last week with the Buccaneers, we saw what Rachaad White did. Like last week, they had eight targets to running backs, 7 receptions for 39 yards. And so I'm not saying that this is going to be an easy feat, but I'm just looking for all of these opportunities to cross that line on Prizepicks, you know? And so I think this is low enough at 13. God forbid he gets a touchdown, we're cashing for sure. Because he's going to get the majority of the snaps. He's going to get some targets, and we saw how good he can catch the ball. So I'm feeling really good about that. And okay, so we got Charbonnet done. Who am I missing here? Are we at 5 already? We are. Wow, okay, we're on the last one. Another fantasy score one, and this is actually going to be a kicker. I like Jason Myers. This one is one of my favorites. So we've got, let's see here. If we look at what he's been doing, it's pretty impressive. And I'm also, you know, just like kind of creating a narrative in my head. What is this game going to look like? I think that the Seahawks will be able to get into the red zone. You know, they might not. I don't think they're going to win this game. They could surprise us. They're that type of team that can, you know, just give you a random upset against a juggernaut. But what I love about this is Jason Myers has been just on fire. If we look at, do I have him up here? Yeah. If we look at what he's been doing, his extra points, he's a lock. I don't even like using that word, but I mean, he's 100% over the last 5 games. Yeah, it's field goal percentage, and he's averaging 2.6 field goal attempts a game. So if he's hitting any of those, we got a minimum of 3 points per field goal, which is going to get us pretty close, just right there. And he's making most of his kicks, but I wrote down some notes on him over the last 2 weeks. If you look at week 10, he hit 4 field goals that were between 40 and 49 yards, and 1 field goal that was between 30 and 39 yards. So he went nuts. And then if we look at week 11, he hit 1 between 40 and 49 yards and 2 50 plus. So I think that this is just kind of setting up a scenario where if the Seahawks are getting, you know, close to the red zone, getting within that field goal range, but they're trying to stay in the game, you know, they're going to trust Jason Myers to just keep them close, you know. So I really feel good about that. Again, against Washington, solid defense. He put up 21 points. Against the Rams, who are kind of just solid all around, even with their injuries, with whatever they're dealing with, they find a way to stay competitive. And their defense, you know, is reasonably stout. And he was able to put up 15. So I really feel good about this one as well. And that will put us at 6. So yeah, these are the 6 I've got for you. I appreciate you guys being patient with the video being just a little bit different than normal. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of tried to make my lights look a little Thanksgiving-ish. But I don't know, man. I'm stoked. I hope you guys have a really good Thanksgiving and enjoy your time with family. And I've just been really pumped. For some reason, I've been like super craving mashed potatoes and stuffing. And I really wanted some ham. can we just like talk about like turkey is like okay, but ham at Thanksgiving, it should probably just be the thing from now on, I feel like. But I can't get everyone to get on board with that. And my mother-in-law was not down to cook a ham tomorrow. So I think next year I'm gonna have to make it myself if I want ham. But I don't know. If you guys feel up to it, let me know in the comments what kind of side dishes you're looking to get into tomorrow that you're most stoked about. And if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, you're going to like Taco Bell or McDonald's or something, just tell me what you're getting into there, because I love food. I love talking food too, just as much as I love talking sports. So I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will catch you in the next video. Good luck.